Yep.
Let her rip, tater chip.
Let's kick this pig.
All right then. So this recap is going to be short and sweet. Last session began with the party upon the upper floors of the ducal manor in the town of Raptor within the realm of Shadowfell. It was here that the Sands of Justice confronted Nayla in her twisted and warped vampiric form. A brutal battle ensued, and though the Sands of Justice found themselves victorious, we find ourselves now in the aftermath of that battle. So, a lot happening all at once, but so you were in this room that was once a dining room. Obviously, the spell cast by Logus kind of shattered the splintered the wooden floor. Not only that, but the table and chairs surrounding it. So you see various bits of wood debris lying around the room. On top of that, most of the center of the floor is very rough and rocky terrain. Laying around the room are several heaps of flesh that have kind of a rancid smell to them. Once these raging flesh golems. The party kind of looking to one another, beaten and battered. Locris on the ground, snoring loudly. The creak of the door opens as Renwick turns the handle and pulls and looks back and sees this scene displayed upon for him. So, with this battle just concluding and the Sands of Justice just kind of now getting their bearings, how do you guys proceed?
Locris is going to snore and maybe let out a little fart.
Excellent. It sounds like, I imagine it sounds like Little Nicky, Locris is mumbling dark, infernal, and or abyssal words, as he cuddles out a fart in his sleep.
Can I make a perception check to see if it was a cute fart or not?
Ooh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
That would be a 23 total.
Locris, go ahead and give me a con save real quick. It was definitely not cute, with a whopping 9 on the con save. It sounded wet, a little too long, definitely left in a question mark of, are those undies okay? Maybe not.
Okay.
I mean, it was a pretty big overkill on the sleep spell, so I'm sure he probably is in a real deep slumber, just letting it rip.
Renwick, was it just Renwick, only Renwick that ran down to try and go after the mist?
At this point, Renwick has made it to the door before surveying the scene. But yes, he was in pursuit of the mist.
Okay. I guess I can just carry Locris here if you guys want to run down and take care of that mist. I'll be right behind you. You don't know how long it takes until she's, formed again. We don't want to let her escape.
No sense in wasting time. And Renwick just throws the door open and
starts bolting as fast as he can down to the coffin chamber.
Okay, yeah, you make it through the fake fireplace and down the rather cramped stairway that's got several, dungeon-like cells kind of staggered on either wall. And in no time at all, you make it to the bottom level with the one sarcophagi torn open, kind of exposed, and the other seems sealed shut. The brazier kind of burning in between the two.
Oh shit! Can Renwick pick it up?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was just about to ask. Like, is there a way? Like, could I use something to maybe like wedge uh, the coffin open, since I know it's heavy and hard to lift?
Later would have also picked up Locust and been working his way down there. Not, I mean, obviously can't move too quick carrying a body, but he's making his way.
I would say there is probably a crowbar or cat's paw like device in a set of thieves' tools, so you could definitely try to pry open the lid if you'd like.
I would.
How
love
long
to.
did it take for us to get down there?
If you are going directly there, I would say 5 minutes or less.
Duration of sleep is 1 minute. So after 1 minute, Locris would have started stirring and waking up.
I was just gonna say that.
You come to in Gladier's arms, kind of cradled almost like a baby.
God damn, those golems could pack a punch.
So can you. Jesus.
Yeah, we got a little talking to have later on, but right now we need to take care of Nayla. She's in her mist form, and we're working our way down to the crypt. Renwick's already down there, and I'll just put him down and keep moving.
And now you can human it.
Renwick, go ahead and give me like a thieves' tools check to bust into this sarcophagi.
And would that be considered like a normal thieves' tools for me, so I can add proficiency and dexterity?
Yeah, correct.
Sick. All right. I rolled a 2 for a 11.
Chisel and heave as you might, you wedge the chisel in proper, but despite your best efforts and your entire body weight, you kind of, just kind of hang limply at the waist over this bar, like you are not physically big enough to open this lid.
Yeah, so I'll just keep prying. I'll yell down the hall and be like, "Glitter, get your ass in here!" you walk in and they're like, I'm hanging off of the crowbar with 2 feet on the side of the coffin, just trying to wedge it, but I'm too tiny.
You guys all arrive, and you see kind of Renwick struggling. One of the sarcophagi seems to already be opened and tossed aside, the brazier burning in between the two, and Renwick struggling greatly, throwing his entire body weight behind an attempt to pry the lid open, but thusly it doesn't budge.
Yeah, Glader's just gonna walk up and like one swift motion, just put his foot onto the lid and just push it off.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and give me a strength check, Gladier.
Oh, that's not great, but I have high strength. Yeah, I rolled a 9 for a 13.
You lucky. I said it at like 12. It wasn't that hard. You struggle thusly, kind of trying to show off a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely as equal to or maybe even heavier than the other one, despite the halfling statue upon it being much smaller. But as the lid to the sarcophagi slides off, you see the ethereal halfling form of Nayla, sort of very mist-like. She has her arms crossed over her chest, and she looks to be sleeping. when you arrived and found Baracus, he had built enough strength to open his eyes. It does not seem Nayla has regenerated that much yet.
Renwick's just gonna stand. All right, so the coffins are laying down horizontally, correct? They're not vertical.
Correct, laying down.
Just making sure. So he's gonna straddle the coffin, like one leg on either side, and then just stand above her and hold up Polaris and just level it right at her heart and just say, "This one's for Mom," and just send it.
What this ethereal mist was holding together as Nayla suddenly forms into a red sludge and just kind of splatters into the coffin itself. Nayla seems to be no more.
And he'll just spit on the goo before he hops off the coffin.
As Nayla's remains become this goop, the brazier between the two sarcophagi extinguishes entirely.
So, good news, bad news. Good news, we don't have to deal with them anymore. Bad news, we still have no idea how these lanterns work, and they're supposed to what gets us beyond.
Well, I'm hoping that some of the magic of the house might be extinguished with that brazier.
If it was the magic that was causing the fog, or if it was the house that was causing the fog.
Well, I'm assuming that the magical vampires might have had something to do with it, but if not, then looks like we've got a bit of a riddle.
Yeah. Maybe we can check their studies or something, see if they have anything written down, any research. Maybe if they made the lanterns themselves, they might have some sort of notes on how it works.
Yeah, it should be safe to investigate the house. All right, where to first?
Are you feeding Kylo?
When we walk back out, like I guess upstairs, out of the coffin chamber, Sean, does it appear any different, or does the same bullshit that we've encountered seem to be intact?
So as you guys leave the, travel back up this kind of narrow staircase with the dungeon cells on the walls, and you make your way back through this kind of false fireplace back to the ground floor of this ducal manor. As you guys kind of arrive, everything looks the same. It looks just as you had kind of left it. One thing you all notice immediately and for sure, the room is hazy. It's like the fog you have encountered before seems to be filling this entirety of this home at the moment. Up the stairs to the second level, everything on the ground floor, you guys are kind of surrounded by this fog, this haze. It's just enough to obscure your vision at about 30 feet in any direction. But that's the only difference that you notice.
Well, it's probably best that we find a safe place and touch our wounds. I've been a bit preoccupied, but I'm hurting now that I've calmed down.
Blade, are you able to put up a hut?
Actually, that's a damn good question. I burned a lot of spell slots that last fight. I definitely can at least. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I think I've got a little bit of magic left in me if we need it.
Well, I think it'd be safe. I know I'm pretty hurt, and so are a few others, and I'd rather not be hanging out in this fog.
Yeah, at least I can control the temperature inside. And Blade will go ahead and start. And well, I guess is this where we want to do it?
Well, I guess it's as good a place as any. Or should we try and find a study and set it up in there? That way we can maybe snoop around while we're in a safe spot.
No, it's probably not the worst idea to find a quiet room as opposed to the main hallway, just in case they've got any thralls or anything still kicking around.
Plus, I can control the lighting a little bit, I think. Just so if anyone wants to read, they can.
Nice ambiance.
Oh, it's perfect.
So I mean, we've checked all the rooms here. So I think unless we like went back down the hallway, if I remember correctly, Sean, there was the room we fought. What's his face? The room we fought.
Baracus.
Yeah, the room we fought Baracus. The room we fought Nayla. Those are on like the top level above the fireplace. And then was there? Oh, there was those two doors that we tied together. Didn't we lock? Like you tied the two doorknobs
You did
together?
tie two doors together. So there's a couple of doors in the foyer on the first floor, and then, the second floor, there is a couple of doors. One leading to the room you encountered Brackus, the other one leading to like a kitchen area where you encountered Nayla. But yeah, there was 4 rooms in total.
Okay, so I guess we just check out those other 2 rooms. I mean, I think it should be safe because I think the thing we heard skittering off and the reason we locked those doors, I think that was Nayla. So we're probably good to investigate the other 2 rooms.
I'm inclined to think that you're correct.
Makes sense to me.
Let's do it.
So as you guys kind of poke around, let me know what you decide to interact with. One of the rooms that you enter is a child's bedroom. If you recall, there was once a shelf full of many dolls that sprang to life. Aside from a few child's playthings and some small child-sized furniture, the room doesn't yield anything too remarkable. The other room looks to be a bed chambers, an adult-sized bed. You guys had already kind of actually, I believe Blade stole the comforter and blankets off the top, so it's kind of a barren bed at the moment.
Dude, I gave him the portable hole. He stole the whole fucking bed.
If I could steal the whole bed, I would. But it might be tough with Gibraltar in there.
I think we did the math. I think that we figured out that you could put Gibraltar and the bed in there. I'll have to look back at the notes, but I'm almost positive that you took the entire fucking bed.
Or at least the mattress. I think he took the mattress.
Oh, maybe it was just the mattress. Yeah, maybe you didn't take like the 4-poster bed frame. But
The bed frame is beautiful. I'll take that too.
Just drag it.
slide the portable hole underneath the bed and open it up.
Or Gibraltar. Just like a
when we have a
400-pound bed frame just tumbling out of nowhere on top of him.
Yeah, according to the
fucking
notes,
donkey. He doesn't care.
according to the notes, Will, you have a royal silk linens and a royal mattress in there with Gibraltar.
I'm sure he'll break it in for me.
So with the barren bed frame, correct my mistake, sorry. With the barren bed frame, that is nicely carved. There you can clearly see the chest underneath that you guys could have already kind of tampered with. Obviously, the room once destroyed prior via quite a powerful trapped spell. Put itself back together rather quickly. The furniture unflipped, the windows resealed their glass and whatnot. But there is this desk that you guys had kind of fiddled with a bit before that Renwick actually ended up setting off a pretty potent trap, I believe. But aside from that, there's a small bar, a little bit of a lounge, a couple leather chairs for relaxing, and you guys had also already determined that most of the booze in this small bar is actually blood wine, more for undead's use than actual mortals.
All right, well, should we set up in the parlor, or
should we try that desk again?
yeah?
I think you're more than welcome to.
I can unlock it if you want to untrap it.
I'm like already pretty bloodied up, so it sounds like a good way for me to die. But
I'll bring you back. I've got one third level spell slot left.
yeah, fair enough. Based on our knowledge of having set the trap off before, Sean, does this seem like a trap that has a mechanical element to it or an arcane element?
It definitely was a fuck ton of necrotic damage as soon as you opened that drawer.
I'm gonna stand 9 feet away from behind Renwick, so he's still within my aura, so he gets a +3 to his saving throw, but also put a little distance and raise my shield up.
I'll hide behind Gladiator.
I'll step outside the room and look around the door frame.
Oh, and wait, how many spell slots do I have left? I have 1 second level. Fuck it. I'll cast. That's just saving throws. I was gonna say I'll cast Bless, but yeah, no. It's only saving throws, and you're already getting a little boost from my +3 anyway. If I had guidance, that would be better.
I got no inspo either.
This is all you. I believe
Fair
in you.
enough.
Got this guy.
Okay, fun stuff. No, only other question, Sean. Does it seem like there would be a means by which we could deactivate the magic of this trap before attempting to open it?
So,
like, do we see, like, if we look under the desk, are there any, like, glyphs carved into it or anything?
Give me an investigation check.
Would you accept perception?
Yeah, I think if you don't want to get up too close and personal, perception will work.
That is a 26.
Ooh, well played. So what you know for sure is that you unlocked the drawer successfully. However, when you opened it, it seemed to erupt with a potent spell of some necrotic energy. So you would imagine that if there was a glyph, it's probably on the bottom interior of that drawer.
Can I actually, I always keep forgetting that I had this spell. Can I cast Dispel Magic on the desk?
You can. Tell me how Dispel Magic kind of manifests.
Alright, so I think this is actually the first time I've even used this spell in this campaign. So I haven't even thought about it. I always forget I have this spell. I think he just grabs his mixed symbol, holy symbol, hanging around his neck. That's like, I'm pretty sure I had it like on one side it's Core and the other side is fucking names are escaping me tonight. I'm a terrible paladin. I don't even know my own god.
Pelor and Whore?
Pelor and Whore. I'm sorry.
I even knew that, Gladia.
And it just glows like as Glader's magic is wont to do, glows a brilliant gold, and he just unsheaths his sword, walks up, and just taps the tip onto the desk, and just like a soft, like, uh, I guess like not like boom, but like like pulse of magic kind of just emanates from the tip of his sword off of the desk.
And as you do so, you feel something disperse.
Glader's gonna hesitantly, because again, first time using this spell, hesitantly pull on the drawer slowly and hope he doesn't die.
It's for sure locked.
Oh, he's gonna turn back to Renwick. Yeah, I forgot it was still locked. But you should be good to go now. I don't think it's gonna blow up in your face this time.
All right. Well, much appreciated. Thanks for touching your tip to the table and
Anytime.
dispelling. And yeah, I'll I guess attempt to open that up.
Okay, yeah. Give me some thieves' tools check there with your dex check and proficiency and all that jazz.
Aye. That is a 26.
The lock pops, no problem.
Then he'll slide the drawer open very carefully, not trusting Gladier, having only used the spell one time.
As you slide the drawer open, it is completely empty.
Can I check the drawer for like false bottoms or any hidden symbols, anything like that?
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
17.
That's enough. When you kind of reach in and inspect kind of this empty drawer, it looks as if maybe it was full of something at one point in time, because you maybe paperwork or mail of some kind, because there is something kind of jammed up underneath, a piece of parchment that seems to stick to the top of this underside of this drawer for whatever reason. And as you kind of wrestle this parchment free, it is a diagram of elves. It has them in kind of like the Da Vinci pose, where the man stands at the center and he's got his arms and legs at different angles in the circle. And it's pointing out various aspects of the elven people. It points to their sharp features. They have slightly larger eyes and ears. There's notes in the column suspecting of that's why they have superior senses. But as you kind of go over this piece of parchment, it also mentions that elves are prime candidates and considered delicacies to some of the more older vampire types in the area. As you guys kind of figured this out as you guys kind of went along, but the vampires from the realm of Shadowfell, not only do they feed on blood, but they also feed on memories, feelings, emotions, and that's kind of what causes the Greys. They are void of these feelings. They've been robbed of them from, drained of their very essence by these vampires. It appears that elves, due to their long lifespan, seem to experience and feel more. And you get hundreds of years from an elf, but only maybe 60 or 70 good years from a human. So it kind of makes sense. But apparently it's this kind of diagram noting how elves are top-notch feeding for the vampire races here in the Shadowfell.
Well, everyone keep an eye out on Logus, because it seems like they might want to, drink your blood before the rest of us.
Um, Logos, what kind of uh Renly, can I see that?
Oh yeah, it's a strange form of porn, I guess. So if that's your thing, and he just
Logos,
passes the parchment over.
Logos is like completely serious, grabs it and kind of uh, y'all y'all remember that they said my father was last seen fighting a shadow dragon. Do y'all think it's possible that these vampires might have gotten to him? And his hands are like kind of shaky a little bit as he processes the thought that his father was last seen around these type of people.
No, he was fighting a dragon. Nothing with vampires.
And
Yeah,
even if he was, we have a cure for the grain. So, I mean, worst case scenario, we just take him back to, back upstairs and get him all fixed right as rain. But like Loker said, he probably doesn't have anything to do with this.
yeah, but I hope you're right. Logos would kind of fold up the parchment and just put it in this bag. Is there anything else in the room worth looking at other than the desk? Can I maybe make a perception check of the room?
Yeah, you can take a quick peek around. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
With the dirty 20, you kind of look around. The room's kind of already thoroughly been looted by you guys. The spell going off kind of trashed everything the first time and kind of revealed a few, like a chest under the bed, but it's nailed to the floor, but and it's a smaller chest, but you guys already kind of looted it. Aside from that, there's some various blood wines and things in this little lounge area, but on the desk itself, there are a few pieces of parchment, but they don't really say anything. It just says, it's like stationery that's been stamped with like the name or the symbol AP, which you guys have kind of come to know that it's like Amorphous Perch's kind of family crest or something like that. So there's a couple of pieces of parchment with his crest on it. But aside from that, you guys pretty much looted everything else.
So, Locus, what's the move now? I mean, do we know where your person's at now?
He's probably still at that tower in the middle. It's what we came here for a lantern for. Problem is it takes some sort of ritual to operate, and I don't know what the ritual is. If it's our blood, if it's something from those braziers that we should have grabbed before they went out, or if it's some hocus pocus. Now you can focus that lets us see.
Hey, Sean, now that Baracus and Nayla are dead, is the house still all wonky? Or is it like kind of normal now?
Everything seems as it was before, except for the fog you guys kind of encountered when you first arrived in Shadowfell. It seems to be permeating the house. The house is very foggy, foggy enough to kind of obscure your guys' vision at about 30 feet or so. The house seems to be the same, but it's now there's a thick fog rolling through the rooms and the hallways and such.
I thought the vampires were the cause of the fog. It seems like they were keeping it out.
I'd say if there is a cause to the fog, and it's not just part of the realm, it's amorphous. Or it could just be its natural state because everything here looks gloomy as fuck.
Yeah. Well, why don't we get the tiny hut up and running? And also, I think we need to address an elephant in the room of Logris, your mace is fucking cursed.
That sounds ridiculous. It's this manor, dude. It was owned by vampires. Nothing happened until we came in this building. And I'm related to the guy that they're torturing it and took over from.
Yeah, but we didn't see them cast any sort of spell or anything on you. You just
Okay, well, let's use logic, Gladiator. If it was from being hurt, I've been blown up. I've been stabbed to death, literally.
You've
And
never turned giant before.
well, that's because I've been studying giants. It's how I can even read and write giant and learn these runes. I've been in a fight since I got this mace, and nothing happened. The only time anything's happened has been in this damn manor that was owned by vampires who took over my leader, patron, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Was that the first time? I thought he did something where he attacked one of us before, and we kind of blew it off.
Yeah, you said when those damn dolls attacked me in this room.
Hey, Sean, quick question. When I noticed him, right, when I was on the ceiling, you said I noticed something about the mace. What was it? Did I like? Was it glowing, or what did I see that made me think that it was probably that?
I don't think I said mace. I said with your superior insight check. I believe my exact words were a thought comes to your mind, and you think briefly for just a moment. Perhaps Blade's emerald flute was not the only cursed item in the dragon's hoard.
And that flute was the one that exploded, right? Knocked his teeth out and shit.
Fucked my face up.
And that I slid through and did not beat the shit out of anybody. And I was attuned to it.
Well, we found one cursed item in that place. I mean, it's not far-fetched to believe that another's cursed, but seeing as that you're very protective of it, which is kind of weird, but if it happens again, then we know outside of this place.
Well, I mean, if we're about to take some downtime and Blade's got a hut for us, Locris, why don't you just take some time to look over your own shit and figure out what's cursed?
Can I roll insight, Locris? To see, I want to see if he looks like if he actually believes what he's saying, or if he's maybe just saying this because he's being influenced by some sort of curse to like try and protect it because he's cursed and wants to keep it.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Alrighty. My wisdom sucks dick, so I gotta roll high.
Can I get in on that too, since I'm trying to encourage him to check out his cursed objects?
Yeah, but you have to make your own check. You can't give Gladiator advantage.
I mean, I can identify things. I don't know if that'll help.
It's a 16 for me, but identifying sounds like a pretty solid idea.
I got a 14.
Okay, let me just check something real.
I don't know if identify would tell you if an item's cursed or not.
It just says It says at the end you learn whether any spells are affecting the item. Oh, I guess that doesn't count. Oh, I don't know if that's the same as a curse.
A 14 is definitely not going to do the trick there. You're kind of you've known Locris for a while. You don't have a reason to doubt that he'd be lying to you, but it just seems maybe a little off. But you can't quite put your finger on what the issue is.
Well, Lokers, I mean, you've more than earned my trust. I don't. No part of me, even when I was saying I think your mace is cursed, no part of me thinks that you intentionally trying to harm us. I would trust you with my life, so I hope you didn't think I was coming at you or anything. I'm just worried about your well-being. But if you think you're fine, then
Oh, I get it. And, I don't remember any of this. I thought he beat the hell out of me. And last time I thought the dolls blew me up. And that's and I got knocked out. But, again, just logically, everything that's happened has been in this manner. If anything happens outside this manner, it might be the realm until Amorphous leaves. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but it's only happening to you. Nobody else has had any sort of bout of possession or anything.
What's been your familiarity with Drasik? None? Zero? He was the leader here, and that's who's been giving me my powers?
How about a nap, everyone?
Yes, I am at relative of 14 HP. I'm
Wait,
cranky and need to sleep.
did Renwick 16 get anything, or is that too low too?
With 16, I mean, Renwick, you glance over Locris, and seems it does seem a bit odd. You can't quite put your finger on it, but it's you don't assume that he's like lying to you or anything. You get you've been with him for a while, and you trust him.
All right, there, Grumpy Gills. We'll lay off you for now. But if you get possessed and you attack us again, we're going to have a much more stern conversation. And I'm going to shove that mace right up your ass. He just walks off, not just blame. Points at the corner of the room for the tiny hut because he's pretty beat up too.
Yeah, so Blade will go ahead and set up a tiny hut, and I'm assuming we're still in the manor, so I'm going to, maybe it'll kind of erupt out of the floor, and it'll be made of stone and wood, almost like a sarcophagus, and kind of form itself.
Very nice. Yeah, so as you guys kind of get ready for the rest and whatnot, do you guys have any last minute rituals? How do you guys pull in guard? Tell me how you guys go about getting your little bit of rest. Is this a short rest, a long rest?
I imagine long.
Yeah, I think we're all
It's
pretty.
gotta be long.
I didn't just burn the spell for a fucking short rest.
Yeah, plus we got to get a long rest to actually get our level up, so might as well go for it.
I have 1 second level spell slot left, and that is it. So, should we do the usual? Couple of us stay up while Logus, you can get your 4 hours, and then we take the rest of us take the rest of the long rest after that.
I'll take first watch. I was going to do something anyway.
Well, then I'll sit with you just in case you fucking turn again.
Sounds good.
Glader doesn't argue and immediately drops to the ground and starts sleeping.
Yeah, I'm gone.
And with the beginning of that time, I'm going to spend an hour and attune to a different weapon.
All right. What would you like to attune to?
I'll attune back to my sword of venom.
Okay, yeah. It takes some time to pull the old weapon swap, but nonetheless.
See? Now we'll see. It has no influence.
Well, let's hope so for everybody's sake. And he just leans down against a wall, summons his rapier, and sharpens it while staring at Locris.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, as as the night progresses, it would seem that none of your watches are disturbed, and you guys do manage to get in a long rest. So, after several hours of taking a breather, patching your wounds, maybe getting a little bit of grub in your bellies, you guys feeling much, much better. How do you guys proceed from here?
Does that, because some of us that got hit with the necrotic lost max hit points, does that reset with the long rest?
Yeah, your max hit points return to normal for sure.
Sweet. Alright, so I guess now we gotta figure out how to use these fucking lanterns. Should we just try it with regular fire? I mean, it seems simple and stupid, but I mean, start simple and then work our way up through the complexity ladder.
Oftentimes what's simple and stupid is the right answer. I mean, you're kind of simple and stupid, my friend.
Jesus.
Somebody woke up
Somebody's
on the
so
wrong side of the
grumpy.
meditation pillow.
Jeez.
I meant it as a compliment.
Glader's just like a mixture between like shock and pride of your savageness and just chuckles and shakes his head. Why don't you use some of your druidic magic and get this get a fire going to this lantern? We'll see if it works.
Oh, Gladia, who are your gods, by the way, that you pray to?
Palor and Hor.
Because you're going to be seeing them soon.
Just checking.
Yeah, I guess Glader will pick up one of the lanterns and hold it over to Logus. You have like create flame or control flame or whatever, don't you?
I have Druidcraft, which allows me to instantly light out a torch or a small campfire or a candle. With that count here, Sean?
As you kind of look into this little golden lantern that Gladiator has, it looks empty. It's just a golden lantern, in the sense of like a case. There does not seem to be anything inside of it. No oil-covered wick, no candle, nothing. It's just metal inside.
Well, shit. I guess it's not the simple and stupid thing.
I have just regular oil. I could. Does it look like? Is it like a lantern? I have oil for a lantern for my lantern of revealing. Can I use that?
There is no apparatus to use the oil. Typically, you would use the oil in combination with like a wick or something. It is just empty. You would have to find the guts to this lantern or place a candle or something in its interior to get it to function like a lantern should.
I'm gonna look over at Logus and be like, "Here, buddy, I've got a candle," and I'm gonna attempt to sleight of hand a stick of dynamite to him.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh, what
You're
does that
giving him
counter?
dynamite?
I know, Jesus.
I'm
Would I
gonna
counter
I'm
that
gonna
with
say
protection?
let's use your I like to say you have a pretty high passive perception, right? We could set a high DC for this. What is
Yeah,
your
my
what is your passive?
22.
Yeah, you got to beat a DC 22.
Yeah, I rolled an 18.
He for sure hands you a stick of dynamite, Logas.
I'll just put it in my bag. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
When he's not looking, I'm gonna attempt to pickpocket it and get it back.
All right, let me know when.
I'm gonna take some time to try to fix that dynamite to the end of an arrow or something.
Well, if you're gonna be doing something like that, you might as well keep it then. If you want to put that on your character sheet, I'll mark it off mine so we don't get confused and have too much dynamite floating around.
Sure, I want to stick a dynamite. Any other like torches or anything in this thing where I could potentially just pick a candle off of?
This room actually, when you walk into it, the sconces on the wall kind of erupt into flame. There are several torches that just kind of light the room, despite it being kind of foggy in here.
Do they have candles in them?
No, just kind of like a wall hanging torch. Essentially, you could maneuver out of its mount if you'd like.
Gladiator, do you happen to have that ever burning torch still? What are the chances we could just cut the end off of it and stuff it in there like it's a ever burning candle?
I actually do still have one ever burning torch. Is it just one? I might have more than one. I know I have at least one. I have one. Yes.
I have a regular torch, a standard torch. If you want to try that first.
Yeah, I don't know if like maybe like if we break the torch, is the magic gonna stop?
Yeah, I was saying it as a bit of a joke, you know. But I think we should be able to rustle up enough kindling to like light a fire in the torch to see if we can get it to do something. There's enough
Yeah.
flammable shit around.
There's like books and shit.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you stuff into this lantern, and how do you go about getting it lit?
Some of those pamphlets that had Amorphous' name on it, stuff some of that in there.
Okay, yeah, some thick parchment paper for sure.
Then I'll pour some oil and produce flame, try to light it.
It lights with no problem. You know, close the little the open latch or whatever, so it's like a closed glass lantern, and the paper and oil burn slowly for a time, and casts light like you imagine a lantern would. After a short time, the parchment is burnt away, and just ash in the lantern. Nothing spectacular or magnificent seems to have occurred.
So why do we think this lantern holds any significance?
Or
Well, we've got a bit of
control
magic on them, but we just don't know what exactly they go to.
And
Some
we
sort of
found
like
it in one of
ritual.
the sarcophaguses. It
Dude,
wouldn't be there just for shits and giggles.
Maybe we don't have to light it. Maybe we have to find where it goes.
Do you think it would have anything to do with the fireplace?
or the brazier that burnt
Exactly.
out when we killed the vampires. Or brazier, not brazier. That's something totally different.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the only thing we have in the notes from when we found him originally, even with the high Arcana or Insight or whatever it was check, is the magic lanterns are linked to being spell components for some sort of ritual.
Am I making this up, or did some of the patrols have lanterns to get like to and from places? Or like didn't we see someone like in the town with the lantern? Or am I just fabricating that in my head?
Well, we followed that gray for a while who had a lantern, but it just seemed like he was using it for light. It didn't seem like it was warding anything off,
Hmm.
from what I could gather.
Unless it's what keeps the ghosts away. Because we didn't have that fight with him. He came afterward. And I wouldn't trust him to not get killed by anything just barely walking up to it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well,
Okay. So
Blade, why don't you try to identify it? Well, I know you said you can identify things. I mean, maybe if we knew what it was or the spell attached to it.
I mean, I could certainly try. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll take a look at it. Use identify. I don't know if it's going to help at all, but um, worth a shot, I guess.
You know, I never really anticipated that. What's the language of identify, real quick?
Sure. So it says you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell, which is 1 minute. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And I can basically do the same to, I think, an individual as well. If you instead of touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells are, if any, are currently affecting it.
Well, it sounds to me like you get the whole shebang. So you cast Identify on this lantern. This lantern, it's kind of a piece of a ritual, but once the ritual is complete, the lantern itself it acts not only as a warding of protection, but it also is like a bane to the fog. It will not allow the fog to enter within like a 60-foot radius of the light, and it's so aside from kind of getting rid of the fog, it also kind of deems you as an emissary of the realm, an emissary of Shadowfell. You, while carrying this lantern, are essentially doing the bidding of the governing or ruling force or faction here. And so, wielding the lantern in the wilderness, where the wild, feral beasties tend to be, this lantern will grant you protection from these creatures as well. They will not harass you while you stay within the light of this lantern. However, you also learn that in order to properly use this lantern, you must officially get the permission from the ruler of Raptor. And you guys just killed them both.
Is there like a finger scan thing we can just like take their hand off?
Essentially, the brazier is lit when the ruler is on the grounds, and the only fire that will maintain the lantern's light must come from the brazier that is now currently extinguished.
Son of a bitch.
Some bitch.
So I guess we go back to town follow one of those gray fucks out and take his.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that seems reasonable. We could just trade one of these for theirs. They'll never know the difference.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure we could make a little trade with them. They wouldn't mind.
We'll
What's
give him
the worst thing
our
to say?
lanterns for one of his. Ours are busted, but he gets more. It all works out. Everybody's happy.
Here's this broken lantern. Duh, right.
Well, that's what prestidigitation's for. You won't know it's broken until we leave.
Make it look like it's on fire. All right.
Yeah.
Guess we just head back to town and see if we can find one then. Someone wandering around with one of these lanterns.
It it seems kind of crazy. We went through this whole house to, figure this out, and then we have to go back to this fucking Grang guy.
Hey.
Hey, we stalked you.
I love it. I love it when things come full circle, so tell me how the party proceeds from here. Because you're kind of currently just chilling in this bedroom lounge area.
Do you all think that if we carry these lanterns through the town, through to the tower, that we would be left alone? And do you think that the people or creatures would be able to tell the difference between the lantern just being lit or the special way or a regular way?
It's got some sort of magic aura that if a creature out there in the mist tried to approach it, hit a brick wall or something.
Yeah, I don't
Whereas
think
that
so.
candle's just going to invite them like a moth.
And it
And
probably
people
won't just
down.
spell the mist, but just regular flame.
But the lantern itself gives off magic, right? And people who have this lantern are emissaries of Baracus and Nayla. I mean, I know not like the creatures out there, but I'm talking about specifically trying to get closer to the tower in that whatever that city where those bugbears went. If this could potentially at least like maybe deceive somebody if we just carrying it.
I think it could get us into the tower. I
Yeah.
don't know if it would get us all the way up to Amorphous because maybe they only use Graying as emissaries. The rest are vampires. But once we get to the tower, well, that becomes future us problem.
I mean, I do have abilities to disguise the group.
My
No, sure.
next question is, are we going to get back to town? Because there were vampires outside this manor. I don't know what they split.
Oh shit. I forgot about the guards.
I wonder if they know that their masters are dead, if they would have scattered, or if they're coming for us as we speak.
Sean, would we know, just for the sake of not metagaming, whether or not if you kill like the alpha vampires, if their thralls are like snapped out of it, or if that has any effect on them?
Go ahead and give me some either history or religion checks. Anybody who cares to.
Not me.
I mean, could we just cast like a daylight spell out there or something?
I do have daylight.
I
I got
12.
17.
Have daylight as well.
17 will do it there, Low Chris. You've definitely picked up a book or two about the Shadowfell. As far as you know, killing the master vampire, any fledglings or servants created to serve this vampire will now be free vampires for the first time in possibly some time. So you do know that any servants formerly bidden to their will are now free.
So they may be. If these two turned them, they're now out running amok. But they won't feel compelled to stay by this manor, and I sure as hell wouldn't. Who knows? Maybe
Nope.
that bar is now a bloodbath.
Maybe
But
they'll
they're
be
uncertain.
grateful.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure their gratefulness will be, hey, thank you. Let me show you I'm grateful by making your death quick.
Well, we can stand here and argue about it, but we won't know till we get there, so we might as well get going.
Move on.
Let's go.
All right. As you guys make your way back out of the manor, the once super long hallway is quite short, 20 feet or so, and you are out the door of this ducal manor. And as you guys exit into the city of Rapture, the first thing you guys notice right off the bat is a blood-curdling scream. And you look out over the city of Rapture from your elevated position here at the manor. And the mist, the fog, it does not seem to be holding a circumference around the town anymore. The entirety of Rapture is now engulfed in the thick fog. Off in the distance, you hear the sounds of battle. You see it's hard to make out because the fog is kind of obscuring, but you're confident there are multiple buildings in the city that are on fire. You just from what you can see, there are people screaming and running in all directions. Vampires seem to fall out of the sky. Once being bats and crows, they descend upon these people, snatch them, and begin feeding upon them. You see whole packs of ghouls beating down doors and dragging their occupants out into the road, like just tearing them up into pieces. On top of that, you see what you believe to have already encountered and to be feral humanoids seem to be roaming the streets. They are not only attacking one another, but they also seem to be preying upon the humans and humanoids in this village. They chase them down, they tackle them, they're scratching and biting and otherwise causing a ruckus. You see from your elevated position looking over the city, large spiders skitter up building sides and across rooftops. Some of them seem to teleport from one rooftop to another. And at this point, you guys notice off in the direction of stands, off in the direction of the church, a few red lights like just seem to kind of go off, like a bit of radiance, like a pop here, a pop there. Clearly explosions of divine energy from the goddess and her followers. On top of that, as you guys exit this once ducal manor and look back, it is no longer a ducal manor at all. It is a giant pillar of stone with a single doorway centered upon it. And surrounding the entire stone, a full 360, headstones, graves of those who had fallen. You guys kind of look out amongst this realm in complete and utter chaos. What do you guys do from here?
On second thought, let's not go there. 'Tis a silly place.
Shall I throw up another hut?
Just hide it out. So we basically saw this whole town in utter chaos with one like lone bastion of radiance trying to survive.
That would seem so, yeah.
Oh shit.
Maybe this is the chance for you to shed some daylight here, Gladiator.
I don't know if I have enough daylight for all that. That's a lot of
I
shit.
I could do it too. We could do double daylight.
Oh boy. Well,
Or we use that as a distraction to make our way towards the tower because it might be clear now.
That was more my thought process. To be fair, we're not the ones that set all of this upon the city. We just took away the rulers that had, subjugated them. The unfortunate side
Or
effect is anarchy.
we took away their protection. In other words,
They were more like cattle for the slaughter. So I'm not here to have the moral debate. The tower seems like a good idea.
yeah, I just don't see us surviving if we go down there and we got, I hate to say it, bigger fish to fry.
Well, you heard it from the moral compass himself. To the tower?
Tower ho.
We can't solve any problems if we're dead.
All right, so tell me how you guys proceed from here.
Fucking run. No. Remind me, can we see the tower from like everywhere? I can't remember if it's like a beacon.
Actually, you guys are not sure where the tower is. You were kind of lost in the mist before you had encountered the city of Raptor, and the mist itself is a sort of malevolent force that also hides some ill-mannered folks, some various ferals, if you will, of the realm. But yeah, you guys aren't actually sure which way is center. You don't know where your position is versus the position of said tower.
Logers? Any creepy warlock feelings, internal compass you got going on?
No, and last time I was able to reach him, he was just getting beat the hell out of. I mean, I could try, but I can't make any promises. So I will sit, then try to reach out to Drasik.
Okay, tell me kind of what your little religious ritual would be as you kind of reach out to him, and give me a religion check.
I pull out the map of all the planes, since I've had that since really the beginning, and that's it. And then I just sit and try to focus on the power and reach out to him. And that is a what's it, plus 4, 19.
With a 19, as you're kind of focusing up and kind of reaching out towards Drasik, you manage to kind of get a connection. You see Drasik still bound with these purple tendrils of energy, bound to something off in the darkness you can't quite see. But his swirling, smoky black silhouette is just kind of frozen, like looking down. As you kind of make contact, he twitches a bit, and looks up. Oh, Pop. It's been a while.
Yeah, we're here trying to get to you. Needing to know how to get to the tower.
Take the lantern. The lantern will guide the way.
Yeah, we kind of killed those two, and now there's no lantern.
The rules of Shadowfell are sometimes finicky. Instill a new leader. Simple. They'll owe you a favor after that. Should do the trick. Or leave one of your party behind to rule in their stead.
So, how do we install a new leader?
Get the factions to bend the knee, perform the ritual at the brazier, and repel the mist once more. The city will eat itself alive if it is allowed to remain in the mist.
Nah, it's fine. Okay. Gotta go.
And before you leave, he kind of looks up to you. He says, "Hello, Chris. I am in the dungeons of the Dark Tower. You must come for me and take me back to the throne room. His amorphous perch would rather sustain himself upon me than slay me and take his rightful place as Lord of the Shadowfell. I'm going to make him pay for this. But if you do not hurry, I fear we will both have to pay."
I'm sure that would. Gotta go.
And with that, the connection breaks.
All right, so it's really easy. We just have to go find them a new leader and get everybody to bow the knee to him and perform some sort of ritual. So we're going into town.
Oh, God. All right. Do we have... We don't have any sort of intel whatsoever on who is, like, I don't know, next most powerful in town?
I say we take the cleric.
Well, it's me, of course.
Well, yeah, you can. You want to stay here, live forever.
It's not a bad idea.
And that's how we
Logan's-
never found out who Blade was.
I know Logan side-eyes Blade. This is his plan all along.
This is for the second campaign. You guys just do your thing.
I actually don't hate the idea of getting that cleric. I mean, they do seem to be at least not dead yet. If we can try and just, push our way through town straight to the temple and get to the cleric, maybe we have a chance.
Are we fighting our way through, or are we going to try to sneak our way through?
Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer if we have to fight our way through, so we might as well try to sneak. In worst case, we draw swords.
I'll do
And
my
like-
best. Let's be honest, we're probably going to end up drawing swords if we're sneaking. Because
Well, I don't know. Our friend Locust here is usually able to muffle our sounds a little bit.
no, that's cool. Sorry, Blade, I interrupted you.
Oh no, it's fine. I was gonna say I can also disguise ourselves as well. I don't know exactly what we need, but I can disguise the party if needed.
That sounds
I
like
don't
exactly
think
what
it's
we
going to help
need.
this time.
I don't know.
The-
I mean, might not
The
necessarily
feral
be on the
humans are
lookout for
attacking
us.
everything.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I guess they. Yeah, I'll save it for later.
All right, so attempt to sneak, fight if we have to. But I think we should, like, if we end up having to fight, I think we should like fight and run, like essentially just book it for the temple and like hit what we have to that stands in our way. But I don't think we should try and stand there and clear the whole town. I think we gotta fight. We gotta move.
We got to kite them.
Yeah.
All right, so as you guys kind of prepare to sneak your way through town, go ahead and give me some stealth checks.
Logus, please.
Now you good, bud.
Please.
I got good stuff. Good luck, Chief. No, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
excellent. The shadows cling to the lot of you.
Oh boy. Oh, no.
Oh no.
That's a 15 stealth for me. 4 on the die, plus 1 dex, plus 10 pass without a trace. 42? Jesus Christ, Renwick.
Yeah, my base stealth modifier is a plus 13, then a plus 10 on top of that, and rolled a 19.
Locust, did you add plus 10 to yours? It looks like you just did. Or is that an older
Yeah,
one?
that's why I wrote 27 on after it.
Oh, I did not see that. My bad.
35 for Logus.
I would also like to use this time to try to pickpocket my dynamite back.
Okay, yeah. Give me a sleight of hand check versus his passive insight of 22.
That's a fuck. That's an 18 again.
You full on dip your hand into his pocket, going for this thing, and for whatever reason, Logos, you just happen to be, you think, to grab something out of your pocket, and you guys essentially, Logos, you grab Renwick's hand inside your own pocket.
Logus blushes.
It's the tentacle hand.
Logus blushes even harder.
It's a stick of something.
Oh, Renwick, I didn't know you were so forward.
Well, you know me, I'm short when it comes to these things. Like to cut right to the chase. But now's not the time. He just pulls his tentacle hand out of your pocket and starts moving.
Logus is confused. And he'll like grab the slime out of his pocket and sniff it. Nah, I'm just playing.
God, Ellison would fucking love this.
So,
Man, I feel like 100% of the fanfic. 100% of the fanfic of this damn campaign is me and somebody else. It's me and Gladier, me and Renwick. Like,
Everybody likes to think that Blade is the the one that's fucking everything. Logus is just on the sidelines having romance with everybody but Blade.
Well, the thing is Blade knows you don't shit where you eat, so he doesn't mix pleasure with business.
He's right. He's got a point. Thank you.
well, with those otherworldly stealth checks, I don't know that anyone but Logos and Renwick were able to share in this tender moment. But to the rest of the world, a dragonborn in clanking armor slides down James Bond style one house, and then dives and rolls to another, alone, of course. But no, as you guys kind of stealthily make your way through the city, you guys still kind of see all this chaos unfolding. But as you kind of get in it proper, it looks like some of the humans are retaliating as well. It looks like the buildings that you saw set ablaze were actually filled with undead of some sorts. The farmers, the villagers, barricaded them in and then set ablaze their own property, essentially. But as the chaos kind of erupts and is going about, you see the various critters of the Shadowfell kind of preying upon these humanoids, these villagers, these people of Raptor. You make your way towards the church area, and as you do, you kind of pass by a familiar place, Stan's Bar. You see a trio of these copper mask wearing individuals are kind of just hanging out front. One of the windows is open. A fourth person sits inside the window, also mask on. And they look like they're just kind of casually sitting around. And as a feral humanoid comes darting around the corner, one of them casually, with the flip of a mace, crushes its skull as it runs by, and it just falls to the ground limp. And they kind of go back to casually chatting, but it seems like, for whatever reason, these individuals are protecting the area. And you notice Stan, kind of a plumper, older gray, on the outside of his tavern door. He has a single board, and he is kind of struggling to nail it up across the doorway. And you guys notice that it looks like well lit inside. You hear the murmuring and shuffling of people. You would assume there is several people inside this tavern currently. So you kind of encounter this on your way to the church. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do, or anything here before you move on?
Anybody want to stop for a drink?
What did we? I accidentally left the damn chat when you said. What did we see when we passed the bar?
So essentially, there are 3 people that you know to be relevant. Well, 4, but one looks to be sitting inside the building, kind of hanging out the window. 3 others kind of casually paced around. They're just kind of hanging out. They're talking. They look to be having a conversation. And every time something feral gets close, at one point it's a feral humanoid gets a little too close and gets crushed. At another, you see a large spider kind of teleport in from nowhere, and a couple of them land swift blows upon it, leave it in just a pile of ichor all twitching and stuff. But it would appear that this small crew of revenants, the small crew of knights of penance, seem to be defending the bar currently for whatever reason.
I mean, should we talk to them? I mean, if they're protecting the town, they might know if, the head cleric is still alive, and if we can, they might be able to help us appoint him as the leader.
And probably here, and it's right here. Yeah, I think we should stop.
Yeah.
Good idea, Gladier. That's
Good
why you're
spot.
the brains of this operation.
Thank you.
See, you're not so simple and stupid after all. Good job.
God damn it.
I'm gonna pickpocket something from his. Just reach into his pocket and grab anything.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh no! 6 + 5, 11.
Gladiator, does that meet or beat your passive?
My passive perception is 11.
Oh, even after you fumble it and maybe even drop it one time, with a coin or two spilling out, I think you'd probably be able to snatch Gladier's coin purse once again.
Fucking, that's a big coin purse. I got a lot of gold.
I'll call him right after I call him simple and stupid. I'll be like, "Oh, hey, Gladiator, you dropped this again, buddy. You got to put this somewhere safe." And I'll toss him his coin purse.
Son of a bitch, not again. Fucking, I swear, I tie this thing on like triple knot it, and it keeps falling off. God.
That's all right. I got you back, man. Hopefully, I see it every time. I snag like 5 gold from his purse because he's got a lot. Buy me a beer.
Alright, after that, Glader is gonna kind of come out. I don't know if we're like maybe like hiding in an alley like hopping between buildings, but he's gonna come out in view of the revenants and like with his like hands up, just like slowly walking forward, like uh, hello there. We're not undead or feral. We're actually here to help as well. Me and my friends here, we're looking for the head cleric of the temple because we are hoping that we can appoint him as the ceremonial leader of sorts to try and get this place back in order. If you guys happen to know where he is,
As you kind of come forward and say that, their hands fall to their weapons, but they don't draw them, and they kind of look confused as they look at you. Like, are you? I mean, everybody knows that it doesn't take but a few days in the fog for the madness to take over mortals' minds, but you and your friends, he throws up a quotation mark. He's like, yeah, you sure you ain't got the sickness? As he kind of looks, and you seem to be alone currently, Claydeer. Only shadows around you.
no, no, guys, can you come out? You're making me look like an insane person, please. They're not going to hurt us, guys. Any one of you.
Locust will walk out.
Logos will start like from the shadows, just whispering nonsense from the shadows.
It matches the aesthetic, you know. For somehow, like, even though you whisper into the shadows, you hear shadows nearby whisper back to you for whatever reason. Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, we're not crazy. Here's one of my friends right here. His name's Locris.
As you introduce Locris, one of these dudes walks up and he says, "What? No fucking way." And he walks over. He gets like right up to Locris's face. I'll be fucking damned. He peels this copper mask off of his face. And you guys are looking at what appears to be, what was once rather, an Asimar. One of these like celestial type humanoids, but very much zombified. His flesh kind of hangs loosely from his face. A large hole in his cheek kind of reveals his like teeth and things on the inside of his face. He's got piercing blue eyes and a bit of a blonde locks rather. And as he peels his mask off to kind of make eye contact with Locris proper, we're going to have to pause for a moment and do a little flashback in Locris's life. I have to get some information out of him before we proceed. So, Locris, as you look into this man's eyes, a memory flashes before your mind. It is a rainy day, rainy night, rather. It's coming down hard. Your cloak is up. You're in Silerin. Lightning, a twisting, bolting crack of lightning off in the distance kind of lights the streets. The rain pummels onward. You know this is not a good neighborhood to be in. You know that tieflings tend to get picked up for crimes around here, crimes they may or may not be doing. And as you look forward, making your way, you see a girl you know, an Asimar, blonde hair. She's not particularly close to you, but your recent harrowing experience, maybe a few months or more ago, when the children of your town typically would like to bully the tieflings, you in particular, for whatever reason, she would never participate. So she would often even lightly protest. Is not really fond of many around Silerin outside your family, but if you were, perhaps, a light fondness for this barely even acquaintance. You're not even sure if she knows your name. You see her leaving this house in the rain, and she looks both ways. She looks nervous, and she pulls her hood up. She begins to run down the road, and as she passes by a shadowy alley, a hand reaches out and snatches her by the hood. She screams as she is thrown into this alley up against the wall, and a tiefling, one you have seen before, one you know has criminal ties, one you know who is not one of the good folk in the community, holds her by the throat up against this wall with a blade in his hand. How does young Locris react to this situation? It is night. You are alone. You're the only person seeing this. In the pissing rain and the lightning and thunder, her shouts are muffled. Only you are aware of this.
He's torn because she's Asmar and he has an intense hatred for him, but she's never personally done anything, so he doesn't know whether he should step in or not.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm delaying words because I'm trying to think of what he would do.
All right, as you kind of look on, like I said, the beating rain and the crackling of thunder kind of make it hard to hear, but the man is yelling at her, and the woman is begging for him to let her go. Please let me go. I'll let you go when I'm done with you. And he holds the knife to her, and the conversation, though you don't catch it all, seems to go back and forth with him demanding something and her being unwilling or too scared or frightened to comply.
He would charge in and try and defuse the situation. Because he still believes that there might be some that are good.
So how would you go about diffusing the situation?
Run in and try yelling that the city guard is coming, and then look like I'm scattering off, going still in a different direction.
As you run up to proclaim that the city guard is coming, let me roll a dice real quick. Nice. Okay, as you run up to proclaim that the city guard is coming, as you run forward, maybe it's the way you splash or the glint off of your horns in the rain and the crackling bolts of lightning. But this tiefling sees you coming, and he steps forward. He reaches out to you and seems to just leave the woman in her tracks. He sees you coming and takes it as an aggressive action. He turns his blade towards you. He steps forward. He grabs your cloak, and then his feet heartily give out underneath him. He holds on to you as he sails through the air, you kind of reaching out a bit. And as he hits the ground hard with a sickening thud. And it's just then the disguise self spell drops. It was not a fellow tiefling. In fact, it was another Asimar. One you know quite well, this girl's brother. This man named Pikir. This seems to be you seem to be his favorite target. He is in fact your bully. He often rallies the children against you, and in fact led the charge that led you to the lake all that time ago. And as you kind of look down at this man bleeding profusely from what is clearly a head wound and a broken neck, his sister screams. He was warning me not to hang out with these shady people. What have you done? You killed my brother. And she screams and flees in the direction of the city guard. And that is when we will come back to our current situation. Locris, you are looking at Pikir, eye to eye. Pikir being your childhood bully and essentially the reason you left Silurin in the first place.
I would just be staring at him, but you'd be able to see my packed weapon just going through an assortment, trying to think of worse and worse like types of daggers and swords.
As you kind of make eye contact, he says, "Hi, well, I didn't fancy to see you here, and alive too. Well, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? Fellas," he turns to his friends. He's like, "This fucking guy killed me, put me down, sent me down here to Shadowfell, he did, and well, I guess I owe you a bit." He holds out his hand. He says, "Thank you, Locris. I'll admit, I was kind of a bad guy up on almost on surface realms, but you helped me find the Dusk Mother and the Lady of our Penance, and I've been working here 80 years or so, trying to earn my way back. I have you to thank for kind of showing me the error of my ways. Too bad I had to end how it did, but you got a minute? I'll buy you a drink. You're still mortal, right? Let's go in."
I brush past him saying absolutely nothing and shoulder check.
He's like, all right, that's fair. Yeah, see you around. He doesn't pursue or press it, but he does kind of look. He doesn't break eye contact. He watches you walk away.
And then when I get in, I try and find a corner to just regroup.
So Locris enters the pub. I assume you guys follow, or do you have other things in mind?
Oh, as we enter, I'm gonna walk up to Pike here and just like have him lean into me and be like, "Hey, so is there anything I could maybe buy you a drink or something? You know him from when he was a kid. Can you tell me anything funny about his childhood?"
Not really funny. I mean, I found it funny when we tied him up and beat the hell out of him with sticks. We threw rocks at him when he was trying to swim away from us in the lake, knocked him unconscious, thought we fucking killed him there. But, aside from that, I kind of just like to hurt him, and I'm only now realizing that that was a bit wrong on my part.
Yeah, that was a lot of it wrong. I was really just asking if he had like an imaginary friend or maybe a goofy hat or, something like that. But that shit's dark, man. You kind of earned the whole zombie thing. And he'll just pat him on the shoulder and walk off to find Locris.
Glader would be standing behind Renwick as they talked, and just hearing all that, he just kind of puts on the meanest mean mug and growls a deep growl. Like, I want to try and intimidate him a little bit, let him know, like, I know he's saying he's sorry, but, like, not, just give him the sense of, like, don't fuck with Locris again, and then I'll follow Renwick into the bar.
Okay, give me an intimidation check.
Okie dokie. What is my intimidation? Oh, +3, not bad. Fuck me. That's not terrible. That's 15. Could be worse. I was hoping for like a natural 20 there.
You kind of give him a mean mug, and as he kind of is constantly watching Locris walk away, he kind of looks back to you and gives you a little bit of a flinch. Oh, yeah, lizard folk. Yeah, all right, huh? I'll buy you a beer as well. Don't be angry. There's plenty to go around.
And Cleto will just kind of like grunt and then uh, walk in over and stand next to Locris. Not say anything, just kind of, because he's looks like he's going through some shit in his head. So, but he'll just stand there.
As Blade comes into the tavern, he'll just kind of not even paying attention, just be like, "How about a song, anyone?" Kind of pulling his lute around.
Excellent.
I love that as you enter the tavern, the backdrop outside of the window behind you is the city on fire and people being devoured, and you're just like, fuck yeah, who wants a song? I haven't been at a bar in a while.
I'll just come in and I'll be like, "In quiet streets where fear resides, the townfolk flee with nowhere to hide. As feral humans with a savage roar ravage this town forevermore." And then I'll make my way to the table.
That was excellent. Give me a performance check with advantage real quick. Fuck yeah. All right, we'll get
Jesus.
we'll get to you in a moment. Logos, do you have anything in particular you'd like to do, or are you accompanying your party into the bar?
Yeah, I'd accompany in there and I'll be like, I'll go to Pike here. Don't mind the big lizard. He's kind of racist towards zombies. And just pat him on the shoulder and go join the others.
He kind of thoughtfully ponders for a moment. I never considered that. So, first of all, Stan is like nailing the door shut to this tavern, and as you guys kind of approach, he's like, "Oh, sorry," and he opens the door, which opens inward. So why he's putting it on the outside, nobody's really sure. But you do have to duck under this plank to enter his establishment, and inside, it seems like there is a small crowd of some of these residents of Raptor. They look to be huddled together, and it looks like maybe, from at least first glance, they look to be like going over a plan. Like there is a man with he looks kind of young and stands pretty tall. He's got a great flowing mustache, and he is kind of like laying out the plans for like he seems to be instructing the others in something. They're all listening attentively as he's kind of coaching them on etiquette and what to say and not say, etc. Aside from that, there are 3 or 4 other revenants. They look to be a couple of zombies, a couple of skeletons, and even a specter, all kind of just enjoying themselves. A few look to stick up like a post up at a window and kind of keep progress on what's going on. But they all wear the copper masks, revealing them to be knights of penance or followers of the local deity here. So aside from that, you guys all managed to find a good corner to kind of hang out in. And Pike here kind of looks to his buddies like, "You got this for a bit, right? Thanks." And he runs inside and he orders a round. Stan stops hammering the nail and comes inside to pour you guys a round of some very, very watered down ale. It's pretty terrible. But nonetheless, a bunch of ale is provided, and Pike here comes and delivers it and says, "Wow, what brings the lot of you here? You sure came on a shit day. Lost the leadership, local rulers recently. Everything's gone to hell. But alas, brings you lot to the Shadowfell. We don't get many mortals here."
Well, we're here on some personal business, and we were just passing through, but noticed the chaos, and we received some information that we might be able to stop this chaos, but also help our own cause along the way. So here we are. As I said earlier, we need to reestablish, I guess not reestablish, but establish a ruler here through a ceremony, which will help bring this, pull the reins back on this fucking shit show that's going on outside. And in doing so, we'll also be able to get a little help to get us on our own way. So, where's your cleric leader, your head cleric? Where are they alive still? Are they at the temple? Are they here?
Oh yeah, they're all fine. The Father Sweeney's taking good care of them. We take as many refugees as we can to the church. Keep the baddies out of there easily enough. It's like a shelter now. But weirdly enough, we're trying to do the same thing. We've already had a vote once, and it didn't work out exactly. So I guess we're doing it again. I don't know if it's going to work this time either. Everybody seems to just only vote for themselves, and it's kind of ridiculous. But nonetheless, the three of the prominent faction members here in Raptor, we're going to meet up under this very roof here in just a short time. It is a neutral ground, and the Lady of Penance, the local ghouls that run the chop shop, and a conglomeration of now free vampires. They seem to be the not able to agree on who should take up the recently vacated position. Oh, you lot wouldn't happen to have anything to do with that, would you? He kind of smiles, a broken, toothy smile at you.
Go ahead.
Logus will kind of just stand there all kind of looking proud and be like, "You bet your ass we had something to do with that."
Thank the gods. Well, if you lot happen to be the ones who eliminated our former lords, I believe you will have a vote up in the matter. Since they all only vote for themselves, essentially, whomever you vote for is going to be the new leader of Raptor. It's exciting. You guys could change history. It's great.
Well, I mean, anything we can do to help, I suppose, but I don't want to speak for everyone else, but for myself, I would like to, hear some, I guess, speeches. I mean, I guess they're kind of like running for office. Like, we don't want to, leave this place in bad hands when it was just relieved of two vampires. So,
Sure, I mean, of course, that makes sense. But alas, well, I guess I'm a bit biased because I'm a Knight of Penance, and Our Lady of Penance is in the running. But Father Sweeney, he's a good guy. He runs a faction pretty tight, and I think he's a great bet. Just don't ask him to do like accounting or really anything that involves too much paying attention.
Why is that? Because his brain's showing.
Well, some call it a curse, but Father Sweeney has already served his penance to our lady, the Dusk Mother, and well, he decided to stay anyways. He kind of gave up afterlife to continue to help others. So, after about a millennia, things just don't quite work right, but some say the Dusk Mother herself can speak directly through him. We don't know if I believe that so much, but, I heard a clever rhyme or a good bit of advice fall out of him, despite that, depending on the day, even though I've known him for 80 years, he don't remember my name.
Can I do like a religion check or something to see if I know anything about the Dusk Mother? Like, is she like a quote unquote good god or evil god in the simplest of terms?
You would know that her domains are life and death, that she is a daughter of Pelor, and she does not fall into the good nor the evil realm. She stays pretty neutral. There's like a beauty to life and death. So she's not actually a good god, but she's not actually an evil god.
Okay. So like, yeah, like almost like just true neutral or like lawful neutral.
It would seem more like because the Dusk Mother's like domain is justice, servitude, and penance, things like that. So like justice through servitude, type of righteousness through service and things like that. Like she's a hard one to really pin down.
Yeah.
Seems like your worship could really kind of depend on the individual. It's totally possible that you are deemed to work. Say you live a shitty life and you come into the Lady of Penance and she says, serve me for 100 years and you can be rejudged. And then you serve her faithfully for 100 years and are still judged to be kind of a shitty person and still go to hell. It's still possible type of stuff,
Okay. Knowing that information, Glader would probably be leaning towards, putting the temple in charge. So Glader would kind of just like nod at what Pike is saying, be like, well, it doesn't sound like a terrible idea. I mean, the god that they follow isn't really good, isn't really evil. It's just they just are. Just they seem just and fair for the most part. So I don't see why not.
So Logus with this passive probably notices how tense Locris is. Back here, friend, would it be too much to ask if you probably give our friend Locris here a little space? With your history, and Locus will like go to the bar and see if they have any booze. Try to get something for Locris before he pops off.
All right. I didn't mean to overstay my welcome. I think I'll step away. I think I'll likely have to tell Father Sweeney and the leaders of the other factions who you are. So, do you want me to introduce you by name, or you have something you'd like me to call you, individually or as a group?
Just tell them that the sands of justice are here. I was
Excellent.
trying to think of something cooler to say, but yeah, we're the sands of justice.
Blade and the Fantastic Four.
All right. Wait, which one?
Sands of Justice.
Both of them.
I like the latter, but Sands of Justice will do.
Sands of Justice accompanying the fantastical Blade Silverstring Bard of Great
As
Renown,
musical guest.
Special guest.
formerly known as, well, I guess still Blade Silverstring. We don't know if he has another name.
May he rest in peace.
I will say with Blade's stellar performance check, everybody kind of stopped what they were doing and kind of watched. And as you guys are kind of having this conversation, the other guards and the other humans in the room are like for sure eyeing you and are now discussing like, who the hell are these people? What are they doing? Like you have definitely drawn the attention of the room to Blade for sure.
I'll hit him with another one. I'll just be like, the baker drops a loaf of bread, the tailor pricks his thumb on some thread, but the mayor trips over his own feet. Yes, impending doom, these feral humans are upon our feet.
You get a light smattering of applause, oh, all right, a couple of bony hands clap together.
All right, and that's it. I'm done. I'll sit down.
And they clap, and Stan actually brings you a bottle of wine and a bit of food. It looks like a bat wing covered in grease on a plate, but he sets it down and he smashes the bottle of wine, at least the top of it, so it's kind of open. Here you go. And then he kind of goes back to giving behind the bar. He's like, I like the noise you make. He leaves. Pike here kind of sees his way away from the table, at least for the time being as well, and goes over to the bar and begins talking with one of his fellow knights. Grabs a beverage, and So what do you guys do from here?
Do you think it's possible to kill him again?
I'd imagine so. I mean, vampires are undead, zombies are undead, and we've killed both of those technically.
I mean, I definitely think it's possible, but maybe we should at least. I mean, you know me. I got my revenge. All for scales of justice and whatnot. But maybe think it over. He does seem to be trying to do the right thing now. I know it doesn't make it any better what he did, but if you have to, at least wait till after the vote. We get that person in charge and get what we need and get out of here. I can't see. I'm pretty blind, so I think I might just, not see what happens.
So, Gladier, you're me, and that's the Silver Queen. Saying, hey, no hard feelings. How long are you going to stare?
That's a very fair comparison. Yeah, I won't stop you, but I will ask you to at least wait till we get what we need because there's more at stake here. But like I said, if you do what you need to do, and I've got
All
your
I
back,
can say is I'll try.
fair enough. That's all I ask.
The part that sucks is we have to vote for his leader who would accept him as a damn person. Because we don't want the vampires, otherwise the people become cattle. We don't want the ghouls, otherwise the gray and the people become cattle.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is kind of the best case scenario is getting them in charge, but
Just have to convince the other two factions to bend the knee.
Yeah, because we can get them to win the vote all we want, but doesn't mean they'll accept it. They could easily just turn and band together and fucking kill all of us and and point themselves in charge. So
I think sometimes you underestimate how strong we are or persuasive we can be. I think if somebody dares to oppose one faction or two, then I think others will see we did what they could not. we killed Baracus and Nayla. I think in a place like this, strength goes a long way, and we certainly have that more than anyone else here.
That is also a very good point. Yeah, so just everyone look extra tough, and we'll try and convince them to bend the knee, and then Locris, you do what you have to do.
Don't worry, Gladio. I'll let you know when they're coming, since you probably won't see them.
Can Gladiator try and sack tap Logus?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
I'm way too dexterous for you.
I know, but a guy can do. I literally don't think.
As he's coming in for his sack tap, I'm gonna pickpocket him.
That's a 6 on the die.
Okay. Roll me a sleight of hand check, Logos.
So what if I'm not trying to be stealthy?
Oh, if you're not trying to be stealthy, I would say just like an attack roll.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to be sneaky. I'm just trying to brute force my way.
Oh, yeah. If you're just going to throw a punch, go ahead and give me like an unarmed attack for a sack tap.
I got an 18 sleight of hand.
Okay, nice.
So no matter what happens, I win.
Just unarmed attack. Would that just be a straight roll plus my strength, or?
Yeah, I believe so. Unless you're proficient in unarmed attack.
I am not.
Yeah, just a strength roll.
God damn it! Can't do anything fun? So it's 7 on the die plus 4 for an 11.
It doesn't even come close. Like Logos does like a little slide to the left, and you don't even touch him at all. Meanwhile, I'm gonna say with your passive of 11, unawares are you, Logos. It is all too easy to pluck Gladiator's coin purse once again. You have the entirety of his fortune in your hand.
Damn it!
I'm gonna hold it. Oh, Gladio, why do you insist on coming at me like that? You're way too slow for me.
Mm-hmm. I'll get
And
my
you
revenge
drop
these days.
and you drop this again, overexerting yourself. You get clumsy, and cost him his coin purse minus another 5.
Glader just snatches the coin purse, grumbles, and sits down in the chair next to Locris, planning his own revenge.
I see you stewing over there, Gladiators. Just make sure I don't see it coming. And I'll give him one of the famous Renwick winks.
And as you guys are kind of sitting around this table, it starts as a murmur at first, but then becomes outright shouting. There is what sounds like a large group of people just outside, and they are angry. They are arguing profusely. And it's just a bunch of shouting and yelling, and it sounds like it's a crowd of people.
Lucas is going to go check it out because he wants to hurt something.
Lucas, as you kind of step outside, you see quite a bit. There are a throng of villagers have completely surrounded the building. Pitchforks, torches, the whole nine. Amongst this mass of villagers, this angry mob, there is what looks like essentially two kind of like small armies approach from either side and kind of begin yelling matches. Probably somewhere between 60 and 70 ghouls as well as probably about a solid 50, 60 vampires, easily identified as such, kind of approach the square. And they're arguing with the villagers are arguing with the vampires are arguing with the ghouls are arguing with the villagers, some of the villagers are arguing amongst themselves, and you hear what sounds like Gladier trying to be stealthy, lots of plate mail moving, coming into this direction. And as you kind of peer down the road in the direction of the church, Father Sweeney, followed by about 100 knights of penance, kind of come upon the scene. Father Sweeney and this crowd, all of them kind of commencing right outside of Stan's pub. And, the leader of the current vampiric force steps forward. Sleek man, kind of dressed in a very Victorian era clothing, high-end clothing, very obviously noble. And the ghouls leader presents himself up front as well. The ghouls leader is actually wheeled in on this cart. The leader of the ghoul faction is actually so large, swollen, and obese, he cannot walk. He looks old, and they have him essentially on a cart that they kind of drag in and face towards the center. Father Sweeney and his knights approach, and the conversation seems to have already begun. The vampire lord kind of steps forward, and he says, "Under the Artois clan, nothing has to change. The ruling class of vampires can continue to thrive. We are now free from Nayla and Baracus's grasp. We no longer have to do their bidding. Things could absolutely be less cruel, more profitable for all. Nothing has to change. The ruling class of this town of Raptor should clearly remain in the hands of the superior beings. Vampires have ran it for centuries, and I suggest that they continue to do so." And they are kind of cut off by the ghoul. "That's very fine and dandy for you, but we've been under your thumb for a long time. We ain't proposing anything too bad for these humans. We'll give them a place to stay. We'll give them plenty of food. We'll breed them. We'll get them going. So there's so damn many of them. And we'll fatten them all up, every single damn one of them. And we might even let them out of the cages once in a while too. We imagine the meat boys. I mean, that even works best for you lot, you bloodsuckers. The plumper the rump, the more blood. Am I wrong? The more longer the life, the better the experience and all that. Maybe you guys actually drink them dry. Stop making all these damn grays. They taste awful." As this kind of conversation kind of continues, Father Sweeney steps up, and his eyes begin to glow with a holy light. He begins to levitate, and all attention is drawn to him. And he proclaims, "That is all well and good, but in the light of the Dusk Mother, I propose that each and all of you bend the knee to the Lady of Penance. You accept the fate she would bestow upon you all. And those who would not bend the knee willingly to my patron will be cold. Join my religion or die." So, the conversation erupts in 3 different ways. And as this roar of conversation takes place, they don't seem to be getting any ground. The vampires want what they want. The ghouls want what they want. the Knights of Penance stand behind their leader. How do you guys proceed at this point?
Fight to the death, you three, right now. Everybody else stand back.
How about us?
Or how about we make them choose a champion? Because I mean, look at that ghoul leader. I mean, he can't possibly do much. No offense, sir.
To get their attention, Locris just screams out, "Shut the fuck up."
As you kind of bellow out so abruptly, so coarsely, silence falls over the crowd, and they all kind of turn and look to you.
You were saying, Logus.
I mean, we could have a battle of champions. I mean, each leader picks a champion, and last one standing, their leader becomes the new lord. Seems fair. Plus, we get a good spectacle out of it.
We could monetize the event and then use the profits to rebuild the city.
Since I'm sure you're wondering who the hell we are, we're the ones who just killed the 2 vampires in the manor. And I'll look at the other vampires and say, I'm willing to kill some more.
At that point, Pike here kind of pipes up. Like, yeah, sorry. It was kind of my job to introduce these guys. May I introduce the Sands of Justice? They actually are why we're having this conversation in the first place. They went and murdered the Duke and Duchess. So, well, I think, unless you want them to maybe be doing some similar murdering to you, you might want to take their advice. Anyway, he kind of, they all kind of scan you up and down. Even Father Sweeney, he kind of looks at you guys curiously. So, haven't seen outsiders in some time. I instinctively trust them, though. They looked right. And he kind of looks away, but the ghoul speaks up and he says, "Well, a fight to the death isn't really fair for me and my kind. We don't get to come back from death like these bloodsuckers and worshippers of the sun." He kind of glares at the Father Sweeney. "My kind die for real. These fuckers get to come back. A challenge of force isn't exactly something we'd be looking forward to."
So you're the brave that'll defend when Amorphous decides to come back. Because he will come back if we don't finish him first. And then you die for real. Again.
He kind of narrows his eyes at the situation. He's like, I didn't think of things this way, but still, nonetheless, putting the leader in front and in charge of a champion, yeah, I don't know. We might have to even the odds. He kind of looks at his boys, and they kind of lick their chops. They look. Most of them are like wearing like loincloths and things. They look kind of ravenous. They're very. Their teeth are gnashing. Their claws are. They're twiddling their hands and stamping their feet. They look restless.
And you, bloodsucker?
I do not believe that Amorphous Purge would care who runs Raptor anymore. It used to be his. He freed his henchmen from their servitude to him and gifted it to them. He's not connected to them anymore. I've been doing their bidding for some time. I've seen how they run things. And nothing has to change. We could continue to do this. We could run just enough to keep the villagers happy and healthy, enough of them offer willingly their vitals, both to the ghouls and myself, and essentially profit from it just like we do. Nothing has to change. Might be terrible for some, but not all. I can run this town. I am confident of it. And I lack the cruelty of our former masters.
Glitter's gonna take a step forward and turn towards Father Sweeney. Uh, Father Sweeney, how would you propose, if you won this vote and they bend the knee, how would you run the town in a way where there's no getting around it. Half or a third of your populace is vampires, the other third is ghouls. How would you run it in a way where, you know, would you keep them here or would you run them out of town? Would you how would you do things?
First of all, they would be given the option to bend the knee to the Dusk Mother. Any who do not worship the Dusk Mother, we will have to cull them, obviously. They will not be allowed to remain within the city. They will be destroyed. Follow my god, or die.
And what after that? What are the ones that follow your god? Because they don't survive off of food and water. They survive off of other things.
They would submit to the will of the Dusk Mother, and she would decide what to do with them individually. Whether they are to serve her or some other purpose, she would straighten them out through prayer and service and dedication, perhaps sacrifice.
I don't know, Gladiator. Extreme zealots don't usually make good leaders, and I've never known a vampire to not be cruel. What about you, Ghoul? What do you propose?
I propose that, we give everybody everything they want. We get the fires up and running again, and no more mist in our wake. We don't have to worry about the mortals turning feral or going wild. But make no mistake, if the mist does not lift, even the undead will feel the maddening effects of the mist after some time. But I would give them what they want. I would make them fat and happy. We will plant farms, we will grow food, we will care for these humans. They will grow and reproduce. They will grow fat. We will keep the shadows at bay. And when the time comes, we take what we need to survive. Sacrifice. We will have to cull the herd occasionally to keep them in supply of food and water, but ourselves as well. Fatten them up. We might even let them leave their cages sometimes. It works good for the vampires. They get to drink the blood of the fat ones. It works good for us. We get to eat the meat of the fat ones. It works good for them. They get to get nice and fat before they die.
God, I kind of just hate all of you guys, if I'm being completely honest here.
And I'm kind of disappointed in Father Sweeney. I didn't expect him to be so extremist. Sweeney, there's no path where they could have the right to choose whether they want to believe in your God or not.
The Dusk Mother is the truth. She will show them the way. If they would not heed her warning, do they need their ears?
Good Lord.
God damn.
Luggage will kind of turn his back to the crowd. Don't suppose one of y'all would like to be Lord?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
there
A
is
couple of the crowds, they step forward. Yeah, I would. I think the best thing to do. We wouldn't have to hide behind the Dusk Mother. We could just kill all of these fucking guys. Put them all in one building, light it on fire, no more undead. We don't need the Dusk Mother, because all of the zombies, the ghouls, the ghosts and vampires are fucking dead. Burn them all, and the men of the town will run the town themselves. And they all kind of cheer behind him. Huzzah! Yeah.
These are all like humans, like are mortal. Like
Yeah, the villagers, the townsfolk, the various humanoids of this area, they all kind of have angry mobbed, kind of swarmed this meeting. The outskirts of it are pretty much thoroughly just angry villagers.
Like this guy's moxie. Do the do the humans have a leader? Do the peasants or anything have a leader?
Give me an insight check, Logos.
That was my damn plus. Oof. 10.
They do not appear to have a leader that's like standing out, sticking out, or anything. They're all just kind of it's like mob mentality right now.
All right, who's the leader of you peasants?
One of the humans from inside the bar that you guys were kind of drinking with, he clears his throat. A man with a flowing mustache. He kind of stands before you. Says, I'd claim that, if they'd let me. And a handful of people kind of nod and push him forward. This mustached man.
Okay, and what's your idea?
He's not wrong. Would the creatures and beasts of the realm do provide a bit of protection from worse things? There are worse things in the Shadowfell than vampires and ghouls, and though terrible creatures, they have been bound by some sort of lawfulness. They are only allowed to prey upon us should we enter the mist. The mist is a maddening force. It takes the minds of those who would escape into it. Mortals seem weakest to its influence, but undead are not impenetrable to this force, though they are a bit more resistant. I say, we work out some sort of a deal. I would like to say banish and burn the lot of them, but truth be told, I do not think without their influence or powers that we would be safe here. It is the congregation of ghouls and vampires that keeps worse things at bay. But their power needs to be diminished, and they should be bound to abide by a strict set of laws. Laws that would greatly increase the freedoms and of those mortals here in the realm, since we seem, our very blood, sweat, and tears seems to bend the economy in our will. And, well, I just don't know how to go about organizing all of this. We're humble folk. Most of us can't even read or write, but some sort of document could be signed or a promise given, one that shan't be broken. I would like to see to reigning over the realm. Perhaps we could do some good.
Fine. You're the leader. You three are council. I'll reach to the bag of holding. Oh no, I don't have that. Then I'll pull out my mace. Anybody wants to have a debate, I'll have a one-on-one.
I insight check the human real quick. Make sure he's not like a psychopath.
Okay, yeah. Insight check the human.
Roll at 19.
He seems to be being genuine. One thing that happens as this man kind of comes forward, Father Sweeney is, I do not vote for this man, but the ghoul and the vampire almost at the same time, unanimously. Oh, a mortal ruler, absolutely. And the ghoul, yeah, I agree. You should be in charge.
So Father Sweeney said no.
Yeah, Father Sweeney says no. This is no.
Why? I want to know why they're so.
Yeah, why the sudden change of heart?
Yeah, why are they so like agreeable all of a sudden?
Give me some insight checks.
Oh, it's easy. I'm mortal. They'll outlive him, and then they'll try to take over then.
May I
Yeah, that was my thought.
May I ask the human's name? It's not Teddy, is it?
Arthur.
King Arthur. Hell yeah.
King Arthur.
Gladiator, with a 15 insight, you kind of notice, you pick up on something. Ghouls and vampires are notorious for being able to turn and control human subordinates. They agree to let him rule because they plan on immediately overthrowing him. It would not be hard for a vampire or a ghoul to take this human down with his only human defenses. You have a feeling, if you elect this human, either the ghouls or the vampires are going to wrest the title from him.
Oh boy, we're caught between a fucking rock and a goddamn hard place.
Well, I
Yeah,
say we give
that
it to.
pushes the problem until we're gone.
Yeah,
I
that's
say we
true.
give it to Sweeney. At least he keeps the humans alive. The ghouls, the vampires, they can convert to his fucking religion and still go fuck off and do whatever they want. We just need these fucking lanterns, and this is not our problem. We don't live here. Fuck these people.
Fuck the vampires. Fuck the ghouls. We're out of
Yeah,
here.
they're eating mortals and stuff. Maybe we. It's not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not all for crazy zealots, but at least they're going crazy against undead monstrosities that are eating and draining mortals.
Odds are, though, we elect Sweeney. The other two are going to revolt.
Well, that's Sweeney's fucking problem, and he's well
No,
equipped
because he
to
has to
combat it.
bend the knee. They have to bend the knee for him to be Lord for us to get the lanterns.
Is that part of the ritual, or is it just
Yeah.
because it's just like a vote?
Well, I'm not seeing a manner in which any of them are going to agree for anybody else. Like, we're never going to solve that problem. I think we just have to pick one, and we'll probably end up having to kill the other ones. And quite frankly, I'd rather fight the vampires and the ghouls than I would Sweeney.
Well, fuck it. I'll do it. You kill the rest.
All right, and you know what? For the sake of brevity, I vote Sweeney. I mean, we're voting as a team, so but I think I'm with Renwick here.
Each faction has seemed to only vote for themselves. However, the agreement was whoever gains the most votes the others will bend the knee. So it essentially comes down to the sands of justice. Who do you elect as the official ruler of Raptor?
Well, amongst ourselves, I vote Sweeney. Gladiator votes Sweeney. Anybody else?
Man, I wish I could vote Arthur, but seems like he'll get his shit wrecked. So I
Yeah, he'll
guess
be possessed or killed within a day.
I'll vote Arthur just as my protest vote since it doesn't matter anyway. So then I can claim superiority over you assholes.
Oh no, then I vote Arthur then.
Yeah, Arthur. Let's go,
Wait,
Arthur.
Wait, no, because now it's
That's three on two. We're
that's
giving
3
it
on
to
2.
Arthur.
Hail, King Arthur!
Arthur, Lord of Shadow. Fell.
Long live the king!
Good.
Long may he reign
for
for like
total
a
of 2
week,
hours.
maybe.
Fine, Father Sweeney, goddamn.
Okay.
All right, I am confused. I love the hilarity of all of these options are perfect for me, but you guys have to decide which way.
It sounds
are you
like
going.
we're voting for Sweeney.
Yeah, to get on
Although I
serious.
do like the idea of just condemning this poor Arthur guy to death.
So wait, we're not voting for Arthur?
I think Locris changed his vote.
Me and you, Blade, we'll still vote for Arthur because
Hey, I'll vote for Arthur still.
I
Just to have
did
it,
to
like,
be a
seem
smart ass. You
competitive.
two jumped on board.
I mean, like, I kind of just want to see what happens now. Should I change my vote?
watch him become Lord.
I was going for that. I'm gonna vote Ross Perot president because I can, and then I'll yell at you guys for voting Bill Clinton or George Bush.
We switched so fast, and Arthur ended up winning. Oh, it's so funny.
I'm all for the mortal race. Give him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We
So
just need
what
to
are we
get our
doing?
shit and go. Who
What are we
cares? Arthur's king.
Arthur's
Let him
king.
die. We'll move on.
This is going to come back to bite us in the ass. Arthur, okay.
Arthur is the official choice of the Sands of Justice. Yes.
Long live the king, yes.
We hereby elect Arthur as overseer of Shadowfell.
Oh, Rapture.
They all take a knee. The crowd, the angry mob cheers, huzzahs. The vampires bend a knee, the ghouls bend a knee, and even the Father Sweeney and his knights bend the knee. They kind of all bow. Well, ritual then. Let's get rid of the fog. And they all begin walking to the manor, heading in the direction of the manor. So, as this massive crowd kind of makes their way towards the manor, it's no longer actually a manor. It is more like a stone obelisk with a single stone door at its center. As you guys kind of approach, Arthur opens the door and steps inside, followed by the Sands of Justice, as well as a couple vampires, ghouls, and knights of penance. And the brazier kind of just sits in this solitary, cold room. This once was a lavish manor. It is now a barren, plain, concrete slab of a room. And as you guys kind of walk over to this brazier, Father Sweeney presents Arthur with a bit of text on what to say and do. He scans it real quick, and then he says a few words in Abyssal, something along the lines of elected by shadow to lead. And he slices his hand using a ceremonial dagger. A few droplets of blood enter the brazier, and it bursts to life. Once again, a massive roaring flame. And all around you, the walls and ceiling and floor begin to shift and move as if puzzle pieces. What was once a plain gray room, you are now standing in like a large longhouse. One large room. The ceiling arcs at 50 feet or so, and the length of the building is at least a couple hundred. A massive building of Arthur's own subconscious design, and just kind of comes to life around you all, encompassing not only the party and Arthur, but the small crowd that accompanied him. As the brazier bursts into life, the mist retreats at an alarming rate and goes back to being only on the outskirts, playing like a circumference to the town. The vampires head their way, the ghouls head theirs, the Knights of Penance head theirs, and several of the humanoids begin to kind of flood into the area and look around and shake hands with Arthur and whatnot. And Arthur kind of walks up to the sands of justice. He says, I don't know how or why this happened. I had hoped for this outcome, but I didn't think it was even on the board reasonable. But anything I can do as current mayor of Raptor, anything I could assist you with?
First, I just wanted to be known you're really gonna have to step up your stick because you're kind of fragile. I just want to step up front so that because it's a new position. You should probably get some hearts and like a garlic.
Duly noted. I think we definitely have some work to do, and quickly. He kind of looks to a couple of what are soon to be his advisors and kind of nods, and they run off to make some preparations for what you're not sure.
Blade will step up and he will say, now that you are going to rule, it is important that you look the part. And he'll kind of reach back in his pack and pull out the very fine clothing that he had gotten from with the first encounter when we were invited to the dinner party with Baracus and Nayla, and give him a nice leopard print velour outfit and say, this is the appropriate outfit for a lord.
Oh, I will definitely don it appropriately. It's a fine bit of clothing. You notice he's draped in not only peasants' clothes, but they're poor quality. There's moth holes, there's patches of material that don't match. He is definitely taken aback by your gesture of this fine clothing. Indeed, I should look the part, command more respect. You're wise.
Oh, I know.
So 2 things. 1, you should make an alliance with Father Sweeney. You could use his soldiers, and I'm pretty sure he'd rather you be in charge than one of the other 2 factions, and that's coming quick. So first thing you should do is send a messenger to him. Also, I'll open the bag and pull out 5 lanterns. We need these lit up.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone knows that aside from protecting the city of Rapture, that the only duty that the current Lord of Shadowfell demands is that we send him good stock when we can. So, unfortunately, this is how it happens. But yes, of course, you have my permission. He takes the lantern from you and dips it into the brazier and returns it to you, and it is blazing with a radiant, holy light. Almost too bright to look at, but it does encompass a 60-foot circle of this radiant light that seems to persistently glow.
How about 3 of those?
Excellent. Sure. However I could help. He He dips a couple more into the brazier and hands them over. You currently have 3 lanterns of radiant light.
All right, so should we get this shit show on the road?
He kind of turns to one of his advisors and says, "Hey, dictate this letter to Father Sweeney." And he begins talking about an alliance and begins taking your advice very seriously.
All right, well, yeah, we should probably get the fuck out of here. We got places to be, things to do, towers to get to.
And anything in particular? Tell me how you guys kind of proceed from here at the manor. Anything you need to do or would like to do before taking off from Raptor?
So, now that the Lord has been chosen, and kind of as we're walking out, like, what is? I know the town was kind of like descended into madness. What's it kind of look like now?
A lot of the descending into madness was based on 2 things. One, that the factions, like the ghouls and the vampires, are only allowed to hunt humans in the mist. So, as the mist kind of encloses around the city, they were kind of thinking it to like a free-for-all. You can imagine that if a vampire lord wanted to, say, dote on his subjects, he might extinguish the brazier temporarily and allow them a free-for-all in the city. But aside from that, it was the mist itself has kind of a corrupting feature to it. Not only turns creatures mad, but there's also creatures that solely live in the mist, like feral humanoids or feral undead or these various large spiders you guys kind of keep seeing. So with those things kind of pushed at bay, with the mist at bay, order is kind of restored. You see them just kind of going about. There was a couple of homes that burned down. People are kind of sifting through the rubble, finding what they can, salvaging what they're able to. But aside from that, it looks like the normal hustle and bustle of the typical Raptor day in Shadowfell.
Goddamn vampires! Sick and tired of all these damn vampires. Well, should we go kill King Vampire now?
Yeah, I mean, didn't you say something about the um, lanterns? You were told the lanterns were able to guide us?
Yes. Arthur, which way to the central tower?
The path through the mist should be revealed, but I believe head north, as far as I've been told. That's where
Just point.
the men.
That way.
He points. He points. He's like, yeah, the men that take the elves, they go that way. He points. The vampires, rather. They deliver any elven stock that they can come across to Amorphous for rewards of some kind. I'm not sure exactly, but they all head north. They take those lanterns and they go that way. He points.
Perfect. Let's go that way.
Logus kind of elves. When was the last time you saw elves here?
It's been some time, but recently more. More and more seem to just come out of the mist, similar to how I imagine you did. They show up here for some reason. To be honest, the last several stragglers that came into town were elves. All of them came alone, weirdly enough.
You wouldn't have happened to catch a name, would you?
Oh no, the vampires, they hunt elves even without the mist in the city. The prize given to them by Amorphous is, I'm not sure, but it must be great. The elves of the city were picked clean long ago, and any that seem to venture here don't last long.
Logus kind of grits his teeth and, Loker, it's up to you.
Are we all ready to head out?
The sooner we get away from this place, the better. Tired of seeing all these vampire fucks running around.
Yeah, I'm on board with that plan. Get the hell out of here.
Agreed.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard in the fog.
Yeah, and as you guys kind of approach the fog, following the direction, lo and behold, with the lantern's light, the fog parts, and there is a roadway in the muck and the mud and the ash, barely visible, but it is enough to start your venture. And as you guys head in that direction, I believe that is where we are going to put a bookmark in our venture for the time being, fellas.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
King Arthur, man.
Long
I
live
was-
the king, man.
I was not expecting a political debate in this session.
Oh, and it works right now, you know. The follow my religion or die.
Yeah,
The let us eat you and die. And the let us suck your blood and die.
yeah, no great options there.
King Arthur. That was great.
Well, we got what we needed.
It's going to be a hustling and bustling, prosperous city next time we come through. Just watch.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's going to be like that before and after pics of like Dubai, like 30 years ago compared to now.
And who knows, once Jurassic gets back in power, if we survive that long, maybe he'll just go through and put whoever the hell he wants anyway.
Fair point. Oh boy.
What matters is we did the right thing.
We did.
Yeah.
After everybody got guilted into it.
Yeah, you guys were cracking me the fuck up, man. It was a good time. You guys, I didn't know where it was gonna go. I was just gonna present the problem and let you guys figure it out. But, the fact that it just came down to like a coin toss between Sweeney, who's for sure gonna commit some sort of religious atrocity, or Arthur, who's very likely going to be a puppet. It was a good time. I like the deduction and the reasoning you guys put forward. You guys were cracking me up. I laughed so hard off mic I peed a little.
A little drizzle.
And then I would love Drizzle, man.
Well, that was too much fun, fellas. Keep in touch, man. Let's do this crazy thing again soon. I'm gonna get out of here. And yeah, you guys have a good night, man. That was a good sesh. You guys rock. You're making me laugh this whole time.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Sean.
One thing before
Yeah,
you go.
thanks, Sean.
So my wife is 32 weeks. So really she can go into labor at any minute now. So somebody should have a one shot just in case it falls on a Thursday or before, and I'm busy.
Noted. That's a good call right there for sure. So
Yeah, we'll have some backup plans. We could always roll for shoes or Cards Against Humanity, or if anybody has a one shot that they want to bust out.
Sounds good.
cool. Thanks for the heads up. I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys have a good night.
All right, take it easy, boys.